Hallo allemaal. Eindelijk heb ik iemand te pakken van Zaka. Zoals jullie begrijpen is Zaka een organisatie met 4000 vrijwilligers die vreselijk werk moeten doen deze komende dagen, al sinds zaterdag. Ze hebben de moeilijke taak om de stoffelijke overschotten, de lijken, etc. op te bergen. En ik spreek nu met Moshe. Hij is een van Zaka's medewerkers, volunteers. En het gesprek zal zijn in het Engels. Thank you, Moshe, for making time for this very important Zoom call because I understood that you're still very, very busy.
Yes. I got back around 20 minutes ago. I got back home around 20 minutes ago. We were there from 9 o'clock in the morning today. I've been there every day, starting Sunday morning. Unfortunately, there's a lot of work down there. We're making a lot, but there still is a lot of places that we haven't gotten to, mostly for security reasons. There are places where there still are terrorists. There are places that haven't been properly cleared of explosives that the terrorists left behind. So our work it's tedious and it's not easy, and everything just takes a long time.
A lot of people don't believe what we went through as Jewish people in Israel. They're like, yeah, you make all these stories up about all the things you're saying. Show us videos and show us what those terrorists did. Why would we believe you?
I can personally say that I saw with my own eyes. Okay, the first day we got there, it was still very unclear what was going on. But as soon as we got down there, we started the work we were meant to do. We started clearing a road 232 is the road number. It's the road that leads out of the area from where the music festival was. I can call it the road of death. Basically, with our crew, we every 15, 20 feet, there was another car that had apparently been shot at by terrorists. There was bullet holes all over the car. There were bodies in the cars, shot in cold blood for absolutely no reason. We went from car to car, taking the bodies, properly wrapping them and treating them with the respect that they deserve. There were also cars that after the people were killed, they were burnt, and there were burnt bodies in the cars. There were people that tried to run away, and we found people in the bushes, bodies in the bushes on the side of the road as well. It was a scene that there's no horror movie in the world that can make it just show it how it is. It was there's no words to explain. There really are no words to explain what we saw, and that was just the first day. The second day we were able to go into Kibbutz Be'eri. The first day was still there were still terrorists around on there, and we as the crew we go around with protection from the army to do our work, and we went into Kibbutz Be'eri. We went house to house with the army, and the scenes were, there's no words. There really are no words. There were children, babies, the elderly. They were just murdered for absolutely no reason in the middle of just in the one morning, we woke up and were murdered. The same thing I can say for Kfar Aza. One of the scenes that really I can say one of the many. I mean, I'm taking one out of many of the scenes. We went into a house. We were told by the army. The army basically does the searches before, and then they let us know what's going on, and we go in and do our work. It was a family of five, two parents, two boys and a girl, teenagers. We found them in a in the safe room. Basically, they were killed, and not only were they killed, but their bodies were mutilated. Um, there were signs of torture. Um, there's nothing I can. There's nothing I can. I mean, I can't. I don't want to. I can't get into too much detail out of respect for the families, out of respect for the situation. But what I can say is that these are not human beings. These are not human beings. They're not even animals. The people that can do these things, I don't even know what we can call them.
I even heard that some people are unrecognizable.
There
That
were I mean, I personally didn't see it, but we had 120 volunteers per day down there, and I heard stories of um of children that were after they were killed and then burnt. They burnt the bodies. They just lit the whole building on fire.
how can you cope with stories like that? And not stories, I mean, you've seen things with your own eyes. How can you
To be
cope with it?
honest,
How can you come home and hug your children and stay normal?
to be honest, we as a group of volunteers are not coping it with it right now. It's not something we can cope with right now. We still have work to do, and we are trying as much as we can to not think about it and do our work. I mean, I can say that like when we had Shabbat, so we took a break, and Shabbat was a lot harder because I had time to think, and
Yes.
it wasn't easy. I can say, but we had work on Sundays, and we had to go back. And
Why do you why
when
do
the
you do
time
this?
comes,
I mean, why do you
what
do this? Because I mean, it's not a paid job. And what is the reason you do this? Why do you think it's so important?
um, what do I think it's so important? It's a job where first of all, there's not a lot of people um, that are willing to even try doing it. Um, I didn't know when I first started what it would be like, but I can say that I feel that God is giving me a lot of strength. Their families and the souls, they deserve to be buried, treated and buried respectfully and according to Jewish law, and as quickly as possible as well. And I can say it's not. I mean, it is probably not probably it is and will be probably the worst scenes I've seen in my life. But I can also say that it's also a very good feeling to be able to be the one to do the work and give them the peace, give them the peace, give their souls the peace, and give the families peace as well.
Some people on the world don't get it that these are not freedom fighters, but those people are monsters. Some people on the world are blind. They think like they fight for freedom. And when we tell as Israel, listen, guys, these guys were monsters. Is that something you felt you were at the scene? That these were like not human who did things like this?
They were monsters. They were worse than monsters. I don't think there's nobody in the world that would see what we have seen and and understand it. It's not It's not something that anybody could even understand. It's not anything that anybody, it's not understandable.
You know,
You
I'm
can't
not working.
imagine. I mean,
Yeah,
animals they kill for food. Animals, I understand, they kill
yes.
for food. These people killed for absolutely no reason. Killed, mutilated, burned. They did the most terrible things. The human mind can't comprehend it.
No, you know, I don't do volunteer work like you. I try to help you guys for crowdfunding because you need a lot of equipment to clean the scene. And for me,
We're also
as a
we're working in a war zone. We're
yes,
civilians working in a war zone. We have firefights near us. We have rockets coming down on us, mortar shells. I mean, we're the first day we were there, we were maybe 150 meters from a firefight. We all had to get down on the side of the road. We climbed in into the side of the road, and we were afraid for our lives. And we didn't even have the proper. We didn't have bulletproof vest yet. We didn't have helmets. Um, Zaka in general never. I mean, the world in general never imagined something on such a big scale. And
mhm.
none of the like we've never imagined that we would need 120 volunteers per day for at least a week, if not more. The amount of equipment we need for doing this properly is nothing that Zakat would ever even have in their storage rooms. So
Duby, your CEO said that what you used in one day, you normally use in 4 years.
yes, this is true.
So, so maybe this is a beautiful opportunity to thank all our uh, people who gave and supported
We
Zaka because a lot of people really felt that they want to do something, and we got generous donations. So maybe you can say something to
yes,
my Dutch followers.
we do want to thank from the bottom of our hearts anybody that helped us with donations or just telling our story. It really, really means a lot, and we felt it. So thank you so much.
That's so sweet of you. And your wife, I'm interested, Moshe. Doesn't she find it very hard that she knows that every day you leave home and you're going to a very danger area to do your job?
So she does, and I did ask her permission, and it was sort of a yes, no, yes. But she understands the importance of it, and like all Israelis here and all Jews around the world, we all need to do something now for us, for our nation. So one of one of the things my volunteering as a Zaka volunteer is one of those, and her agreeing for me to go is one of the
Yes.
things she does for that. So
I have to say, I call all you guys who work for Zaka angels. I cannot imagine something else. I mean, it's the most hardest job, I think, on earth. And I'm sure that God will bless you all, guys. Is there for the last minute a certain message you want to shout out to the world?
oh well um yes, I do. I want to say that Israel is one of the most amazing and and fair countries in the world. People that don't believe that are just don't know enough. And I feel that somebody that wants to learn, there's plenty to learn, and there's plenty of people that do explanations. And I feel that people need to know more. People need to know the truth about Israel, because Hamas is not the type of people they think they are. They're not even people. What they did here was inexplainable, and that's it, I guess.
Thank you so much for this interview, and thank you so much what you're doing every day. I know that a lot of people appreciate what you're doing. So on behalf of everyone, I really want to thank you so, so much for doing this.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing this story. And I'm sure, Moshe, even though we are not telling everything and we're not showing everything to the world, Hamas filmed everything. And I'm sure things will come out and people will see extreme, shocking footage.
I hope
And
so.
even though they will see it, I think that the human mind doesn't even comprehend.
It is impossible to comprehend it, but we can try our best so that the world can see who they are.
Exactly. Thank you for
And
this.
thank you.
Thank you for this.
Have a good night.
Wow.